Well, welcome back onto this discussion now. It's been smooth sailing with the clearance of travellers at the Lebombo border post since the start of the Easter weekend. Now, earlier this month, the Home Affairs Minister Leon Schreiber announced the introduction of body cameras and drones that will now be used over this weekend and beyond. This is, of course, to prevent illegal crossings as well as corruption. The Border Management Authority says more than 50,000 people travelling between South Africa and Mozambique have been cleared so far. But for more on this, we are joined by Deputy Assistant Commissioner at the Border Management Authority, Mmemme. Mogotsi, thank you so much for joining us and a good afternoon to you. Incredibly important, the sort of movement that we're able to see over this weekend, because it also is an opportunity for the Border Management Authority to, again, test out some of its technical skills with the new equipment that you do have. So perhaps talk to us about that before we get into what the numbers have looked like at certain border posts. This new technology, drones, body cameras, lessons that are coming out of using some of that tech.
Yes, good afternoon, Naledi, and good afternoon to the viewers. Yes, our aerial surveillance has been active from the start of the operations. We're using drones that have been deployed at key segments of the borderline that are giving us really live intelligence and visuals in terms of both legal and illegal movements. And those drones have been very helpful. They've been deployed at 5 of our ports of entry. And over and above that, the body-worn cameras, have also been are used by our officials. This is just to monitor, the interactions between the officials and the travelers. As you are aware that the Border Management Authority is the first line of contact with travelers as they arrive in any port of entry. So it is important that we utilize equipment that, will be able to form base as, some of the information that will be reviewed at a later stage. But with the aerial surveillance that is happening with the drones, we are able now to, be able to react and intercept some of the illegal people who are using entries where it is not permitted.
And at these 5 border posts, land border posts where this tech has been used, do you have data of arrests made and officials perhaps that have been caught in the act? So have we started to see this tech yielding results that have led to, being able to, I suppose, catch criminal activity at our borders?
Yes, definitely. And our strategy is very effective. We were just now at the Lebombo port of entry where we were capitalizing as well on the, the facilitators of illegal movement. As you would just be advised now that, the illegal facilitators are the ones that, keep a watch on law enforcement and are able to direct travelers to say, okay, you can move through this route, you can move through this route. So those are the problematic persons that really we need to deal with. And we were able to surveil movement from that high point through our visual intelligence. We're able to follow up those travelers. Some of them were attempted to get into various modes of transport like taxis. But in Lebombo, we were able to actually arrest the taxi driver who was facilitating some of that movement because in terms of the Immigration Act, if you are transporting an illegal traveler, you are aiding and abetting, and that's a serious charge in terms of the Act. So we were able to arrest those facilitators, arrest the taxi drivers, and in that regard, we open cases against them and we charge them. We don't deport them in this regard because, they're committing serious crimes in terms of aiding illegal movement and making our work difficult on the borderline.
Yeah, very interesting. So let's talk about some of the traffic that you are seeing. The busiest border posts, earlier on in the week, there was, of course, the understanding that there would be quite a lot of traffic coming in for those that are pilgrims for Moria, for instance. So I imagine that is a trend that you are picking up in terms of the movement.
Yes, definitely. Before Good Friday, we were able to see, an increase in terms of border traffic volumes. And we anticipate also a sharp increase from tomorrow and again on Monday as travelers return to South Africa and some are exiting the country. And we are expecting the cargo goods and movement resuming in full force following the Easter long weekend. And the commissioner has really, commended the teams that are on the ground in terms of working unusual hours in terms of ensuring that, the work is carried on, because we have extended operations at most of our ports of entries that do not operate on a 24-hour basis. So in that regard, we have allowed staff to work overtime so that they cover those hours. And we remain on high alert as the Easter traffic cycle enters its return phase. Our border guards are also fully operational to detect and deter any attempts to undermine our border security in this regard.
Yeah. Talk to me about the collaborative effort of the Border Management Authority with the law enforcement authorities, and just, how seamless that has been, where you are able to see arrests, where you have an individual that you pick up, the process that then is taken, and just how collaborative efforts are, for instance, with the SAPS.
Yes, definitely. To ensure that, safety within our borders and compliance and the protection really of our ports of entry, we have really intensified operations in collaboration with our members of the South African National Defence Force, members of the South African Police Service, and members of the South African Revenue Services, because they have to be in charge of custom services. So this is a collaborative effort that is working within the country and in the border environment. This is also to ensure that, we assist each other in terms of our operations, because with the Defence Force, the colleagues are responsible for securing the borderline so that there's no illegal movement that, is happening in that regard. And not only that, we are looking at traffic volumes and as well as traffic towards the ports of entry on the border corridor. So law enforcement, traffic police, as well as the metros, we are looking at working with them. We've been working with them in terms of ensuring that, the border traffic towards the border is not interrupted.
Yeah, of course, we do have 72, ports of entry into the country. And at the moment, this technology that we talked about earlier, some of the drones and the body cams only really set up at 5 of those borders. I mean, when do we expect to see a bigger rollout that keeps a close eye on all of our borders to restore the confidence of South Africans that talk about the porousness of our borders?
Yes, you are right, Naledi, that we need to really account to the nation, because the Border Management Authority has embarked on this procurement process for the body cams as well as for the drones for all the 72 ports of entry for South Africa, so that we are able to, just ensure that there's interception and intelligence that is being gathered and visual updates that are being provided for both legal and illegal movements. But at this moment, the drones that have been delivered now can satisfy only the support of 5 ports of entries. But not only that, we are collaborating with the Department of Rural Development, and they have borrowed some of their drones. As you would understand, that partnership commenced during the past festive season, whereby we were still using their drones to monitor illegal movements. Actually, that's when we piloted the effective use of drones in the border environment. So we have been using their drones, and they continue to support us in this regard. As soon as all the drones that we have ordered have been delivered, we'll be able to ensure that most ports of entries, if not all, will have drones to monitor movements.